Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
Movie culture and fandom is crazier than ever because of the internet. Whatever your fan movie is, you could dive into novel-length Reddit thread conspiracy theories or geek blog post manifestos, or you could save a trip to the mental health hospital and come with us as we break down 10 insane movie fan theories. 10. Titanic. This iconic 1997 film has captured the hearts and minds of audiences all across the globe since its release over 2 decades ago. Inspired by the ill-fated voyage of the Titanic in the early 20th century, the romantic story of Rose and Jack did earn the movie a whopping 11 Academy Award wins. But did you also know there's a particularly wild theory about none other than the film's eternal heartthrob, Jack Dawson?
So stupid! Why'd you do that, huh? You're so stupid, Rose!
Titanic's fan theory? Jack Dawson is a time traveler. In some dusty corner of the internet, Titanic fans have speculated that Jack is actually from the future and boards the ship on a mission to save Rose's life. Their evidence? Jack mentions fishing on Lake Wissota as well as a roller coaster at Santa Monica Pier. Pretty cool guy, except neither of these sites existed until years later after the Titanic sank in 1912.
Iceberg, right ahead! Thank you.
Not convinced? Stop being hypnotized by Jack's good looks and take a closer look at his hairstyle. The suave locks are just a little ahead of his time, according to some wardrobe, hair, and makeup artists. And even his rucksack wasn't popular until the 1930s. It's obvious he's a time traveler, but no need to run around spouting that off. Plenty of teenage girls will dream up whatever it takes for a chance to be held by Jack. 9. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This iconic mid-80s hit was deep in a hypnotizing decade of leg warmers, neon, and big hair. It should come as no surprise then that this fan theory is pretty wild too, which is that Ferris doesn't actually exist at all.
Yeah, sure, for the first time in his life. He's gonna be just fine.
Let's break it down. Amongst John Hughes' best teen comedies, Ferris Bueller's Day Off has been loved by fans for years. It's about Ferris Bueller, the smooth-talking high school senior who decides to play hooky from school and does it better than anyone has ever done before. But it wouldn't be possible without the help from his awkward and self-despising friend, Cameron, and his dad's souped-up sports car, with most of the emotional conflict hinging on this stunted young man in an existential crisis. Fans have made the case that Ferris is actually Cameron's hallucination. Ferris is the dream version Cameron wishes he was. The parade, the museum, being at Wrigley Field, all these adventures are just figments of Cameron's imagination. Guess that's why they call it a day off. 8. The Harry Potter series. This epic story spanning 7 books and 8 movies is wildly loved all around the globe and is regarded as one of the most important children's books ever written. But it's no surprise that the Harry Potter series hardcore fandom has spun up plenty of speculation about its magical world. But this one particular theory involves not wizards, but instead one well-known family of muggles. The theory? The Dursleys are cruel to Harry for a good reason. Any good fan knows Harry was raised by the insanely cruel Dursley family. And while they seem like naturally miserable people, what if there was a good reason for hating Harry?
Dumbledore's got style.
According to one theory, the reason that Harry's aunt, uncle, and cousin were so awful to him was because Harry was one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. Being that a Horcrux can have a nasty impact on its surroundings, including the emotional state of people, some believe that this drove the Dursley family into anger and hate. Ron's and Hermione's moods were affected by the Slytherin locket they took turns wearing in Deathly Hallows. Since Harry was a Horcrux, it definitely would make sense that he'd negatively affect the people he lived with for so many years, wouldn't it? 7. Pulp Fiction. This film helped seal Quentin Tarantino's fate as a master filmmaker and is celebrated as one of the greatest cult classic crime films ever made. But with all the interconnected stories and jumping around in time, it's no coincidence that there would be some crazy conspiracies about the film. This film's crazy fan theory? The briefcase contains Marcellus Wallace's soul. Much speculation has been given as to what is in the briefcase sought by the film's main characters. Many fans theorize that the briefcase retrieved by the hitman contains the soul of their gangster boss, Marcellus Wallace, who had previously sold his soul to the devil.
Die, you motherfucker!
Evidence? The number for the lock code is in fact the devil's number, 666. And the bandage on the back of Marcellus's head actually correlates to biblical text that says the devil steals your soul from the back of your head. Plus, what else can explain that heavenly glow emanating from the briefcase? 6. The Toy Story series. The much-beloved animated Pixar film series follows the lively and caring toys of a young boy. Pixar is known for their interconnected universe and dropping in plenty of Easter eggs, so it's no surprise that fan theories would follow. This fan theory? Sid grows up to be the garbage man in Toy Story 3. If you look very closely, you'll notice that the garbage man in Toy Story 3 is wearing the same exact skull shirt that Sid wears as a teen. And not only that, but Sid bears quite a bit of resemblance to this man, too.
So play nice.
The theory goes even further to say that the reason Sid becomes a garbage man is to save all the toys from being thrown away, having discovered that they're alive as a kid. After all, a shocking revelation like that would definitely change someone's ways, wouldn't it? 5. The Shining. In our 5th spot for 10 insane movie fan theories, we have the Stephen King adaptation that has scared fans for generations. This famous horror movie is so famous, they've even created documentaries to trace some of the conspiracies and fan theories around it. The most famous theory, though, is that the movie is about faking the moon landing. This one might be the most out-of-this-world theory yet. According to some conspiracy theorists, The Shining is Kubrick's secret confession for working with the government to stage the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969.
Little pigs, let me come in.
Let's break down some of the evidence. The film changes the haunted room's number to 237, originally 217 in the novel, because the average distance from the Earth to the moon is 237,000 miles. It's now known to be 238,900, and also changes the book's single slain child into those creepy twins as a nod to NASA's Gemini program. An even more overt detail from that same scene, Danny's sweater features a rocket labeled Apollo 11. Maybe Kubrick was just messing with fans, but really, who knows? 4. Fight Club. With its massive plot twist, there have naturally been many movie theories on this hit cult film. One particular theory connects the main characters, an unnamed narrator and soap salesman Tyler Durden, to a certain famous comic duo. This theory believes that the narrator and Tyler are grown-up Calvin and Hobbes. The beloved Calvin and Hobbes comic has been around for years and is loved by fans all around the world. Most of this speculation is based off Calvin growing up with his imaginary friend he created out of a stuffed tiger animal who is unnamed, much like the narrator in Fight Club.
This kid from work, Ricky, couldn't remember whether you ordered pens with blue ink or black.
And the roots of that secretive men-only Fight Club? The exclusive boys-only club in Calvin and Hobbes, GROSS. Get rid of slimy girls that they created as children. 3. Back to the Future, 1985. Another legendary 80s film on our list, this time-traveling movie has had fans going crazy for decades. And it makes sense, right? Combine some crazy characters like Doc Brown, time travel, and you're bound to have geeks doing what they do best. Well, geeking out, that is. But what if there was a dark theory that changes the way you look at a character, and one unforgettable scene in particular? This fan theory. Doc Brown was suicidal. After complaining that his inventions never work, we catch Doc Brown putting himself in front of the speeding DeLorean as he tests his time machine invention in the parking lot. Some fans feel that he was ready to give it all up after so many failed inventions. Depressed about his failures as an inventor, Doc was at the end of his rope. Testing his last invention, Doc fully expected for the DeLorean to kill him. This extremely dark fan theory has been around for years. 2. Jurassic Park. Director Steven Spielberg didn't always know he had a hit on his hands. This film, about a theme park full of dinosaurs that escape, became a massive success, and more so, has lived on to become a huge part of our film culture. One fan theory takes the whole idea in another direction. According to one theory that posits that the dinosaurs aren't real, Jurassic Park is actually an elaborate scheme of park creator John Hammond to make profit from a deceptive spectacle.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
In other words, he created the dinosaurs from a mix of existing animal DNA into what people think they look like. Pretty interesting, right? Just recall Hammond's speech about how he started his career with a flea circus designed to trick children, which certainly suggests that he has no problem earning his fortune on selling people false realities. Plus, the theory would definitely explain why the park's dinosaurs are pretty historically inaccurate. 1. Groundhog's Day. This iconic comedy starring Bill Murray is a massive, massive hit and is celebrated all over the globe. It's so huge that some people have decided to dive into the film and really explore its potential meaning. Many fans believe in this theory that Bill Murray's character represents the last savior. In an essay entitled Groundhog Day the Movie, Buddhism and Me, Spiritual Cinema Circle co-founder Stephen Simon calls the film a wonderful human comedy about being given the rare opportunity to live several lifetimes all in the same day. Of course, that's not how the film was marketed, but for our purposes, I believe that concept is at the soul of the story.
I hope you enjoy the festivities. There's talk of a blizzard.
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?
In an interview with the New York Times, Dr. Angela Zito, co-director of the NYU Center for Religion and Media, said the film illustrates the Buddhist idea of samsara, or continuing rebirth. In Mahayana Buddhism, nobody ever imagines they're going to escape samsara until everybody else does. That is why you have bodhisattvas, who reach the brink of nirvana and stop and come back and save the rest of us. Bill Murray is the bodhisattva. He's not going to abandon the world. On the contrary, he is released back into the world to save it. Well, whether Bill Murray is a Buddhist god or not, we will all have to give him some props for an amazing comedic performance. This is all for our 10 insane movie fan theories. We hope you enjoyed, and will join us again for more videos. Comment, like, and please subscribe.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.